A quarter of the league is battling for 8th place, while Team Draft Punk has now secured a 2-game lead for 1st place. All that and more this week on Real Talk. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Yurt Lopcom. Let's check out the games this week. The most shocking and unbelievable upset happened this week. I can hardly believe that this coach did not win, and this defeat definitely hurt him pretty bad, and it's one that he won't soon forget. I'm of course talking about the upset between Vinegar Strokes and Team Kim Jong-ril. Cam Newton and Carson Palmer both had 20-point games, but the part that hurts John the most about this loss is that Daniel didn't even start a full roster. Coach Daniel Kelly beat John Devine with only 8 players. And technically it was more like 6 players because 2 of them scored 0 points. Vinegar Strokes humiliates and embarrasses Kim Jong-ril 68-59. The LA Golds had a pretty great performance this week, despite their coach Hank Patterson stating that he's pulling for Tom Brady over the Panthers. But it all worked out in his favor in the end. The Cincinnati defense scored Coach Hank Patterson 27 points. Coach Tanner Jones finds himself in 11th place. He's really going to need to step it up if these next few games if he's planning on once again securing 9th place. The LA Golds beat Monsters Inc. 90-64. Coach Nate Jones moves to 2nd place this week after his matchup with Coach Stephen Flores. Charles Manson's Marauders had an underperforming week, with Peyton only scoring 10 points and Greg Jennings and Darius Hayward-Bay scoring 0 points. Nasty Nate beats Charles Manson's Marauders 108-56. Coach Field Snyder had an overperforming game this week. He faced off against Q, who got 19 points from his quarterback RG3. Despite outscoring his projected score, Q still lost to 2-for-1 Plums. Although Flacco only scored 6 points, this didn't keep Coach Field Snyder from getting that pumpkin. Field's defense and his quarterback, Alex Smith, both scored 19 points. 2-for-1 Plums beats Q 95-80. Team Draft Punk increased their lead by 2 games this week. They have won 7 games in a row and have the most Yahoo medals out of anyone in the real league. Once again, Draft Punk overperformed their projections. The only players who didn't make par on their team were Josh McCown and Brandon Marshall, who played in the high-winded, stormy game in Chicago. Coach Graham McGugan may have lost this matchup, but he put up a valiant effort, scoring the 2nd most points this week. He outscored his projection by 43 points, but in the end, Draft Punk came out on top, 118-109. Aaron Rodgers and Josh Freeman both put up 0 points, and both didn't play. And while Steve Smith put up 4 points, it wasn't enough to help Coach Marco Flores ice up Coach Max Shipley and his 98-point performance. This loss sends Ashley Schaefer BMW to last place in the league, while it catapulted Mutant Mayonnaise to 8th place and a playoff potential. Mutant Mayonnaise beats Ashley Schaefer BMW 98-53. Last week, Coach Alex Edelman wrestled Coach Field Snyder to the ground and gave him a vigorous and relentless spanking and titty ducking. But this week, Coach Alex Edelman was on the receiving end of the ducking. While the reverse titty duck is something that even Coach Field Snyder wouldn't attempt for fear of injury, Coach Charlie McGugan championed through it in his matchup with the Titty Duckers. It's been described as a warm apple pie, it's been described as a bag of sand, but none except Coach Charlie McGugan, Coach Trey McFall, and Coach Stephen Flores can tell you what the reverse titty ducking really feels like. When asked what it feels like, Trey was quoted saying, "It was effing sweet, but I had to wear a condom." While Coach Stephen Flores was quoted saying, "It felt good, but he just kind of laid there like a dead fish, you know?" And Coach Charlie McGugan was quoted saying, "A gentleman doesn't reverse titty duck and tell." Is that JJ What You Say beats the Titty Duckers 71-60. That's it this week for Real Talk. Teams are going to need to start picking it up if they want to secure a playoff spot, or in some cases, 9th place. Tune in again next week, and until then, keep it real.